Hey guys, how's it going? Tcgplayer TCG here. It's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. So I just wanted to show you my Eldlich Chaos Ruler deck that I've been working on. The original concept was shown by Duelist Academy coaches Ryan Levine and Bonin Temnik on their Patreon. And I really liked the deck a lot. And so I've been working on it a little bit. I made some changes that I'll go over and explain why. But this deck is also a pretty good representation of my last two articles in a more practical sense, in that this deck aims to solve a lot of the problems that Eldlich has had in the format. Primarily that they lack a good normal summon, and they're missing a really good strong engine in the deck, and this deck kind of aims to fix both of those problems. And it also shows the KISS deck building principles that I had outlined in my most recent article in action, and that the deck is very simple. The game plan is very straightforward, and I really enjoyed this deck a lot. I played it last night for my local, or for the remote local at Core TCG, and I went undefeated, beating out Infernoble, Dragon Link, and then like Salamangreat, which was, I mean, that was a pretty free matchup. Dogmatica invoked, and Burning Abyss, Phantom Knight pile. The deck is really solid though. It's very good at grinding. It's not a combo deck like the previous Eldlich decks that we've seen that were so popular with the power of Jet Synchron and Olion to see them through that. It's much more of a grind control deck that just has some big cards in it. And so I just wanted to go over this with you guys, show you what I've been working on. I haven't been playing as much lately. I've been adjusting to my new work schedule and things like that. So here's what I finally got to play last night, and here's what I've played. So for starter cards, of course, we've got 3 Extravagance, 3 Quick Launch, 3 Cursed Eldland, and 3 Shiranui Solitaire. So there's 12 starters, which is, I mean, it's in that ideal curve. Typically, cards like Extravagance, draw cards in general don't tend to be starter cards. However, Extravagance is the exception in that it has to be the very first action you take in the main phase. So I count that as a starter for that reason. Obviously, if you draw like Quick Launch, you can Quick Launch before you Extravagance, like if you do it in your standby phase or something like that. But generally, this is how you just lead off your turns. Quick Launch is a really interesting card in this deck because I only play 2 dragons to summon off of it. I play, they're actually in the extenders, but I play Rocket Recharger and Rocket Tracer, and then I also play Boot Sector Launch to search. So this is like a little mini engine. The whole point of this engine is to either make Borreload Savage or Chaos Ruler with 1 card. And this just plays a role as like an emergency teleport, so it's a starter and an extender all in one, which is really, really cool. Cursed Eldland, of course, just gets you to all of your Eldlich cards. And then the Solitaire engine, to do that, to go with that, you play 1 Mizuki, 1 Unizombie. And I really liked this engine a lot. The zombie engine was the main part I really enjoyed from the Duelist Academy video. It's a strong normal summon. Either of these are just great normal summons. Obviously, this one is better. Solitaire is infinitely better because you can just summon Unizombie from the deck. But Unizombie serves multiple functions in that it can get you access to your Eldlich cards, which is really nice, by sending Golden Lord, and it's also just a 1-card Chaos Ruler or Striker Dragon or Savage Dragon, whatever you need, which is really cool. And them being zombies is important because of the Scarlet Sanguine and White Destiny being able to summon any zombie if you have an Eldlich the Golden Lord. So there were multiple times last night where I would just like summon back a Unizombie during their end phase, and then I would just keep going on their turn, and it was really good. For the rest of the extenders, you've got your 2 Golden Lord, of course, 1 White Destiny. So White Destiny serves as a 4th Sanguine. It's just a weaker Sanguine because you mill so many cards that you just want to have the ability to have a 4th one so you could banish 3 total. This card was surprisingly useful though. But I mean, these are really just there to kind of help you keep going. One thing too is that I mean, it's fairly obvious, but Mizuki is able to get back your Golden Lord, so you don't necessarily have to use your White Destiny and things like that on the Golden Lord all the time, which was really kind of cool. For reactive extenders, the part that I really like about the Eldlich cards, or the Eldlich deck in general, is that you play so many reactive extenders. So there's, you know, 3 Elixir of Sanguine, 3 Conquistador, and 3 Jaquero. These are what really drew me to the deck, is that you have 9 reactive extenders, so you're basically playing on the opponent's turn, which I really enjoy, to be able to have that level of control. So you obviously want to max out on these, because you also want to see these off of your Chaos Ruler as much as you can. Then for the hand traps, this is actually where like a deck making rule is kind of broken, but it makes sense because of Chaos Ruler. So you've got 3 Ash, and then the rest of the hand traps are just 2 ofs because of Chaos Ruler. So there's 8 hand traps here that are all able to be hit off of Chaos Ruler, and these ratios can change around based off of whatever's correct for the area. But I really enjoyed just having any 2 of these, and you wanted these in pairs, so you wanted like Valor Crow or Ogre, Nibiru, and things like that, so that really was useful. Ash being unsearchable is the reason why that's maxed out. So that's the main deck. It's 40 cards. A lot of the main deck is built around the idea of Chaos Ruler. So, you know, all these hand traps exist, like these 8, and then you want to hit one of these 9 traps if you can off of Chaos Ruler, or you can mill your Mizukis and things like that. For the extra deck, the extra deck is fairly straightforward. It's 3 Chaos Ruler, 2 Striker Dragon. These are the only 2 cards I play in multiples, and that's just because I want to be able to get my Boot Sector launch, and I don't ever want to banish all 3 Chaos Rulers. Like, I want to make sure I have a Chaos Ruler after resolving Extravagance. The odds of you banishing all 3 aren't that high, so I just wanted to make sure I could always do that. And then I play a few rank 8s, number 38, number 23, Dingirsu. That's it for the rank 8s. Dingirsu is pretty useful, just being able to send cards. It's also an out to Dragoon, which is really useful in this deck because this deck can struggle against a card like Dragoon. Eldlich, historically as a deck, can struggle against a card like Dragoon, but this can just out it. Number 23 is also surprisingly useful. Just being a negate on the first action they take is pretty decent. Number 38 never came up, but the idea was just that between these 3, whichever one I can summon, I'm fine with summoning. So, like, if I banished, like, these 2, I could summon number 23, and that'd be fine. If I banished these 2, I could summon number 38, and that'd still be fine. Just because, once you've used your Chaos Ruler, it's kind of just there. In all of my chats last night, I was referring to this as Big Dumb Idiot Dragon, because, like, it's just sitting there once you've used it, and so, you just want to use it up, so you can put it towards a rank 8, which is pretty useful, and then you can just summon it back, and this card is the whole reason this deck is built the way that it is. Then I played 1 Pleiades just to have a random rank 5. It did come up, actually, which I found really surprising. I didn't think it would. Link Spider, just in case you need to get rid of your trap. Like, sometimes your traps will just be sitting on the field and you just need to get rid of them, and the Link Spider does that for you. And then IP, Lambda, and Unicorn. These were played in particular, Lambda, because it can obviously let you use your Gamma if you have monsters in the field. But IP and Unicorn were played specifically because I wanted to make sure that I could get rid of a Golden Lord if it was sitting on the field. Oftentimes what will happen is you'll get into games where your traps will sit on the field or your Golden Lord will sit on the field, and your opponent is able to just keep accruing free cards and just surviving, and that's the way that they can beat you. So these allow you just to get rid of them for a useful reason. The last 2 cards that I played were Cyframe Lord Omega and Savage. These were just because I wanted more good level 8 synchros, so now I have 5. Savage is generally only played when I do my rocket combo because I can play it with one negate, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but like one negate plus a bunch of hand traps, like a hand trap that you've hit off of Chaos Ruler plus the Eldlich cards is usually just enough to get you there. And then Omega's there just to be like another ignorant card. I don't think I used Omega really too much. I used it mostly just to attack. Like I never really used its effect. And then for the side deck, I side deck a ton of hand traps. The idea behind the side deck here is just that you take out the hand traps that are useless and put in ones that are probably more useful. So first you've got 3 Gamma and then Driver. And then I play the Gizmek Uka and Barrier Statue package. This didn't come up. I did play my match against Infernoble. If he had been able to extend, I would have been able to do this, which is pretty insane. I also had like Valor and stuff in the hand, so there was like nothing he could do. And then Lancia for Dino and Dragon, of course. Pancratops for when I go second, and then 3 Cosmic Cyclone for like control decks. But that's the deck. So like I was saying, the problems I found with the Eldlich cards, and the Eldlich deck in particular, was that all of your reactive extenders, like all your traps, are insane. And Golden Lord is insane. But like this is not enough to build like a tournament winning deck. Like this is just not gonna do it. So you needed to have a supplementary engine that was really good, and the deck doesn't rely on its normal summon, so engines like the this is in that engine too. So engines like the Solitaire engine are really good because it's just a normal summon engine and it's very compact. You'll notice there's 5 cards and it's a 5-card engine that has a ton of synergy with the fact that there's zombies, and it's also just very useful in that this is a 1-card extra deck option, and then there's the quick launch package. And at the beginning of the format, I had mentioned in my article about like the future of Halifibrax that quick launch is playable just as an emergency teleport, and I really have found a lot of success doing that. So there's that. The other thing that I wanted to mention really quick is I know that Tcgplayer Dan Parker has mentioned that these 2 cards are very overrated, and as a whole they are. The idea is that you're playing a deck that is inherently worse by playing Extravagance because you probably don't care about your extra deck. The upside, though, is that in a deck like this, as long as I can have my 1 useful extra deck card, the rest of it doesn't really matter. It's just options if I have them. I'm primarily winning just by summoning this guy and maybe this guy. Like the rest of this just doesn't even matter. It's just options. So that's why Extravagance in this deck in particular is very powerful, because I have the room to play multiples of my key extra deck cards. And then Ash Blossom is in general a very weak card. I typically don't like playing it. I also agree actually that it's very overrated. However, it being a zombie is very important because I can just summon it back off of White Elixir or summon it back off of Sanguine and then just synchro with one of the trap monsters, which does come up a lot. There will be a lot of moments where if you play this deck where you have an Eldlich the Golden Lord out, and then you Sanguine or White Destiny out, your Ash Blossom, or if you can, your Unizombie, and then you'll just synchro summon with one of the trap cards, and then you can make like a Omega or another Chaos Ruler and just gain a ridiculous amount of advantage because the Chaos Ruler, let's say you didn't draw any of your 11 lights or darks to hit off of it somehow, besides like your Unizombie. So you've got like 10 left. So then there's like an 85% chance, I think it is, to mill one of those 11 in that top 5. So then odds are you'll see one, and then you can also hit a trap in that, because if you didn't draw any of the traps and you've got like 32, 33 cards left in deck, you mill 5. 9 out of 32 is a pretty high chance. There's really not much more to say other than this deck, again, really subscribes to like the simplicity principle that I was pushing in my article. because the idea is that you're trading all of your low value cards, like your Eldlich traps and your Chaos Ruler, which is actually a very low value card because it's just able to keep resummoning itself at no cost, so it doesn't mean a lot for you to lose it. You keep trading those and your hand traps for the high value like combo plays, and then you just eventually grind out the win. So that's the deck. It's super fun to play. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I went undefeated with it last night. But let me know down below what you guys think of it. And yeah, if you guys want me to write on this, I probably will too, because I really enjoy this deck a lot. So have a good day, guys.